All right. Good morning, senior home business community, family, visitors, whoever you are out there. You just kind of stumbled on the channel. This is the Senior Home Business YouTube channel. We're here talking about senior placement business. If you are new to this business, stay tuned. I'm going to go through today what I would do if I was starting my business today. Now, I'm going to have two exceptions to what I would not do, because I know if you followed my YouTube channel at any length of time, I noticed today we got 550 videos on this channel to date, July 22nd, 2024. But I'm going to give you 5 things I would do if I was starting my business today. Now, the 2 things I'm going to take off the table, because again, if you follow my YouTube channel at any length of time, you know I talk a lot about social media. You know I talk a lot about social workers. Those are the 2 hallmarks of my business. When I started my agency back in 2018, it was all about social workers, man. I was knocking on doors. I was trying to get as many no's as I could get, because I knew a yes was coming. And you've got to be excited about this business. And how you get excited about this business, a little side note, is you've got to be an advocate for seniors. If you're not an advocate for seniors, you're not going to be too excited about this business. But if you are, you're going to be very excited. So we're going to go through these 5 areas, what I would do. But again, I'm going to take social media off the table. I'm going to take social workers off the table. So those are 2 of the things I'm not going to go over in this video, but don't misunderstand me. I firmly believe if you are going to do this business and do it successfully, you need to be on social media. You need to establish a brand. You need to go to social workers, no matter how hard and difficult it might be. They never have time for me. They never want to see me. They don't want to use me. They don't answer my calls. They don't respond to my emails, whatever it may be. Okay, those 2 things are off the table, but we're going to get into the 5 things today. Now, as a caveat, you have to understand this business. If for order for these 5 things to work in this business, you've got to understand the process. You've got to fully understand how this business works. If you don't understand how this business works, then it's not going to be successful. Okay, but let's get into it. Number 1. What I would do if I was starting my business today, fast forward from 2018 to 2024, and today was my first day of operation, man. I was ready to go. I was ready to help seniors. I was ready to hit the streets. What I would do is I would research and analyze local referral agencies in my area. Precisely what I would do. You want to know who your competition is. Now, it might not be for the reasons you might think. Some people want to understand their competition because they go, oh man, is this business saturated, would be the first one. The second one might be, well, what are they doing so I can, copycat that thing. I can reverse engineer that thing and just do exactly what they do. And I'm here to tell you guys from experience, that is so far from the mark. That's so far from being successful in this industry. You've got to research and analyze these referral agencies in your area. And I'll tell you 2 ways how to do it. There's probably more than just 2, but I'll give you 2 just for sake of time on this video. But you need to research and analyze. And let me give you a little bit of information, a little pro tip. When I started my business 2018, it was all about what was going to make us different. I got on my marker boards, and some of you know the story, is I was just pinpointing areas, and I pinpointed 4. And for the sake of time on this video, again, I'm not going to go through those 4 things. But I identified 4 areas that would make me completely different than my competition. This is so important because you got to stand out, right? So as you're researching the referral agencies that are out there, here's 2 ways you can do it. Number 1 is Google these communities, Google these agencies and find their website. Look on their website. I'm telling you, most of your competition are going to have canned photos, standard terminology. Just they all look the same. And if you want to stand out, why in the world do you want to look like everyone else? You're like, well, they do about 6 move-ins a month. So if I look just like them, I'll get 6 move-ins a month. Not necessarily true. But you want to look at their website and see how you can be different. And I'm going to tell you some ways to do that, even on your website a little bit later on this video. So stay with me. So research their website. Another simple way to research referral agencies in your area is simply secret shop. All right. You want to know what they say on the phone when an unknown number calls them? Just Google their information. You're on their website. I know they're going to have their phone number somewhere on that website. Call them and find out what they say. You can secret shop yourself. You got a family member or a friend do this for you. Call them, and they act like they have a mom who needs assisted living. Now, that's terrible for the referral agency that you're calling, because it's a meaningless exercise. It's something that's never going to transpire. When I used to work in education as a for-profit educational school, we had this all the time. We would secret shop other schools, and they would secret shop us. And they wanted to get our script on the phone. They want to get what we would say, our processes and all that, and trying to get an advantage. And I'm not trying to get you to do this to get an advantage. I just want you to get a clear picture, receive a clear picture as to how they operate. And this will help you in being successful in this industry. You know your competition. Now, what you want to do, as you got that information, the second thing you want to do is record that information, right? You want to record the information. Now, you can do this on a spreadsheet. You can do it like I did on a marker board. However you want to do it, you want to record the information. Now, what are you recording? You've done the website searches. You've done some secret shop. You've done maybe some other things. I don't have time to go on this video. Some other different things. You're gathering a whole bunch of information. Now you're recording this information on a spreadsheet where you can clearly see all these different agencies, and you want to look at their similarities and their differences. I did it on a marker board. All right. And as you're pinpointing their similarities, how they're all the same, and you're pinpointing a little bit of some of the things that are different about these agencies, then what you're able to do is identify the gaps. Okay, you're able to identify the gaps within these agencies. Now, what do I mean by that? You'll notice that because you understand their process now, that maybe some of them, if not all, don't do online meetings. That would be a good example for you. If you want to be different and no one in your area is doing online meetings, and you want to expedite the process for the family and the resident, then embark upon online meetings. That would be a great way to do this. If and especially if no one else is doing it, and you can advertise this, that you do this. Again, we're not talking about social media and social workers here, but if I was doing social media, which I do, I would put that all over the place that we do online meetings. Now, another thing you're going to notice, and whether they say this or not, you can just take this to the bank. Most of your senior placement agencies are lazy. They just are. Most of them don't work on the weekends. Most work 40 hours a week. They call it a hard week. Anything they do on the weekends would be something like maybe go on a tour, a follow-up call, something like that. But they're not aggressively implementing their business strategies on the weekend typically. Some do. I do. And I'm sure others that do, but most will not. So what you can do is, that could be one of the gaps that you identify, that these referral agencies don't work on the weekend. And if they don't work on the weekend and you do, you have a distinct advantage. Let me give you a hint about, let's say, since we're not talking about social workers, let's talk about a discharge planner at a hospital. Okay. Hospitals will typically have a weekday staff of discharge planners and a weekend staff of discharge planners. What you want to do is you want to go on the weekend and get in touch with the weekend staff. Why is that? Because they're not being marketed as much. No one's really going by and handing them a business card. No one's really calling upon the weekend staff. So that would be a little bit of information that you would have in your back pocket to say, you know what, that's something I can do. But you got to record all this information. Now, as you record this information, then you've got to start reaching out, right? You've got to reach out. Now, I'm going to say develop a website. Hopefully you don't categorize that as social media. I don't, but it could be perceived as such. But you need to have a website. Now, I don't encourage you to go out and get an expensive website. You can go get a cheap website. I don't know the prices of these websites anymore. I typically use Squarespace in a lot of my businesses. You might use something else. And I'm not promoting Squarespace. I don't get paid for saying Squarespace in this video. You might want to go use Wix or something else, but don't spend a whole lot of money on a website. But what you want to do, don't make your front page of the website just like everyone else's. It's got, again, some canned photo that you can find off Canva of a senior or a couple in a community and everybody's using the same picture. Do something different. What do you do different? What do you do different is you identify the gaps, right, of the community, of the agencies. Then you want to pinpoint what makes you different and then put that on the front page of your website. So it's going to be a breath of fresh air, man, when somebody goes to your website and they see that you're a little bit different. Okay. You got to you've got to let people know you're unique. You're different than anyone else. You're setting yourself apart. You want to get eyeballs on your business, then use this approach. If you don't, then just do like everyone else does it and just throw your name in a hat. And hopefully somebody just pulls your name out and calls you. I don't know. Okay. Then the second thing you want to do is you're reaching out to people. You want to develop a network of like-minded and like industry individuals around the areas that make you different. So it gives you purpose for reaching out to people. It's not you're reaching out to people saying, hey, my name is Matt, Senior Home Business. This is what we do. Can we work together? Or, how can I add value to your business, which I encourage you to do as well. But you're able to clearly articulate what makes you different. And you don't phrase it. Let me give you a pro tip. Don't phrase it like this. Don't phrase it like, well, Shirley, Senior Home Business, we do things differently than other agencies. They do it this way, but this is how we do it. No, just go ahead and tell them what you do. It's automatically just going to be different than anyone else, right? So then if you don't like social workers, you don't like social media, you're not going to like this at all, but it's something you have to do if you don't do social media, is you're going to have to do a minimum of 10 cold calls a day. 10. You might not like that, but do the math in this. Get excited about the payoff. Get excited about the outcome. If you do 10 cold calls a day, just Monday through Friday, that's 50 cold calls in a given week. Multiply that by 4. We're good at math on this channel, right? 50 times 4. 200 people you've reached out every single month. All right. So out of the 200 that you're reaching out every single month, if you can get 5% success rate by doing this, you'll have 10 people in your network. Now you might say, well, man, that's just way too many. And there's no way I can get 5%. How about 2%? My gosh, you can get 2% of the 200. You can do the math. That's 4 in your network. That's amazing. Do that every single month. If I'm doing my math right, 4 times 12 is 48. That is unbelievable. In 12 months, you will be doing a lot more business, obviously, than you did at the beginning. But I'm telling you, if you do these 5 things, you will start to get business and get business pretty quickly. Some of you just don't have the belief in your mind. Some of you don't have the trust in your abilities. Some of you don't believe necessarily that once you get the first no, you can actually get a yes. You can get all that. Okay, so that's the third one, reach out. The fourth one is advertise. Now, I don't do a whole lot of advertisement because, again, I'm on social media. Now, I've boosted a few things. I've done a few ads on social media, but I don't do a whole lot of advertisement in the area that I'm going to talk about right now. But if you don't want to do social media, you're going to have to do these things, guys. You've got to get the word out. I don't know how else to tell you than a hope and a prayer you get on Google and you get good SEO and your name pops up. But I'm here to tell you, if you're not good with social media and you're not good with SEO, you're not going to be on the first 2 or 3 pages of the Google search, right? You're just not. So, which means somebody that's searching assisted living, searching for senior placement, they're going to find other agencies before they find you. They're going to call them. They're going to be in a conversation with them. They're going to get the business and not you. So if you're not doing social media, you have to advertise. How do you advertise? Well, do a senior magazine. I know a person in my area. She advertises just a little, 3 or 4 sentences on a senior magazine, and she probably gets at least 2 leads a month from that. That's amazing. Now, I don't do it, but she does, and she's quite good at it. So, and I think because she's done it over time, that her name is out there now, but it's going to take time to do some of this stuff, right? Advertisement in and of itself, it used to take 7 to 8 different opportunities for them to see you, see your name, see what you do to gain trust. I would submit to you that number is a lot higher today because of all the buzz that's out there, man. All the people are trying to get attention, not only in this business, but everything in the world out there. When people are scrolling on social media, right? And if you do decide to get on social media, which I encourage you to do, you want to be a producer, not a consumer. You want to be someone that is providing value on social media so people begin to trust you, know you, want to do business with you versus you just looking on social media. So advertise on senior magazines. Direct mail would be another one. I don't encourage this one either, but hey, if you like a 2.5% return on your investment, then knock it out. And that's not even like 2.5 move-ins. So that's not saying you send out 100 direct mailers, you're going to get 2.5 move-ins. It's not that at all. You might get 2.5 contacts. You might get 2.5 people reaching out to you, text you, email you, look at what you have, seriously consider it, put it away for a different day, another month, another year to get back to you. Another way to advertise would be billboards. I don't encourage this one at all. Now, how do I know not to do billboards? May work in your area, but yours truly spent $18,500 for 6 months, 5 different billboards in multiple cities, rotating every 8 weeks. I got 2 calls, I wouldn't call them leads, from that billboard. One was, hey, what is it you do? I saw you on a billboard. The second one was like, hey, I've got a friend. He has a mom that might need this service a year or 2 down the road. And it really wasn't that good of a call. So billboards would be one. Business cards on a table at a restaurant. It's old school, I know. I don't do it, but I'm telling you, my wife and I just had breakfast at a downtown restaurant. It's super popular. A lot of the seniors go to this place, and people have their information under the glass that's on top of the table all around. I read a few of them. Matter of fact, I saw one that said Senior Care. It was an in-home health agency, a franchise that was right there in front of me. So you could possibly do something like that. I don't know the return on those things, but it's just an option, especially if you're not going to use social media, right? What's the 5th one? The 5th one is, if you're going to grow your business without social media, without social workers, you're going to have to go directly to where seniors hang out. That's just plain and simple. Where do seniors hang out? They hang out at senior centers, coffee shops. That restaurant I was talking about could be multiple different places in your area, but you've got to go where they hang out. Now, I don't like this approach at all, even though I'm telling you to do it, because again, I do social workers and social media. That's the 2 areas that I specialize in. But if I was going to do this, I don't really like it too much because I like to go after the adult kids. Going after the seniors directly, I think, can benefit you for independent seniors. When you dive into assisted living and memory care, I don't think this approach is as effective as independence. So I don't like this one that much at all. But again, if you're going to do this business without social media and without social workers, you need to do these 5 things. I would record them. And you have to go back to research, analyze, record information, reach out, all that good stuff. Do all that, and you'll start to see your business methodically grow. It's going to grow at a snail's pace, but it's going to grow. If you want to learn how to grow this business and grow it effectively on social media and using social workers, which is not an easy task, then I would encourage you to look into the Senior Placement Institute. You can drop down, click the link below, schedule a consultation. Would love to have a conversation with you. If you want to join a free group, you can do that too. Watch, or you can't really watch, listen to our podcast. You can drop down and do that too. Hopefully this information was helpful for you today. I would encourage you to get started. If you love people, you love seniors, this is a great business to get involved with. Till next time, God bless.